Hello, everybody, and welcome to Toffee Bluecast. Instant match reaction straight after the game, well, as quick as we can be. And we want to get what you think on that game. Everton 2, Manchester United 2. Now, get your comments in. It's a match reaction. We go live to just see how you feel after the game. And we're here, and we'll talk about it, and we'll try and break it down. So talk to us. Let us know in the comments. We'll put it on the screen. And we'll give you a bit of feedback on the comments and say what we think on it. Paul, should I start first?
You go for it, mate.
A little bit peed off with that, to be fair. Not going to lie, mate. A little bit peed off. And someone will probably try and find a positive in it. But a little bit peed off, I think. And I know it's not the worst result in the world, 2-2. It's not something like to cry about. But I think the way the game panned out, go 2-0 up and look like you could go 3-4 and see Manchester United absolutely crumble when you're 2-0 up and look like real in danger and trouble. Really frustrating that we didn't put that game to bed. And I could see it, you know. I put it on. I still got those scars, as I mentioned on the pre-match. I've still got those scars of where at home, they mentioned it on the commentary, the comeback that Bournemouth did to us at Goodison Park. I thought if they go to, I put it on X, don't let them go 2-1. We've got to go 3-0. Do not let them go 2-1. Because the moment it goes 2-1, they score the next goal, they can be back in the game. You go 3-0 up, obviously they've got to score 1-2 and then 3 to get back in the game. But really disappointed. Really, really, really disappointed. Because you know what you feel like? You've gone and absolutely grafted and earned something amazing. You get all that celebration feeling just to not be able to celebrate, because I'm not going to celebrate on that to let someone come back 2 goals. And then there's a talking point at the end, which we'll talk about. Obviously, the penalty, a few pictures to put on the screen, but I'm paid off for that, Paul. I am. Like, how do you feel on
it? Yeah. I mean, I'm a bit pragmatic about it because we can afford to be, but it is infuriating, but not a surprise as well. You know, our own fault, really. We sat back a lot more second half. They did 1 or 2 slight alterations. We ran out of puff a little bit. 1 or 2 shouts about people playing however long, and maybe we could have made 1 or 2 changes beforehand, but it's a good free kick, and then the other one's a shot from the edge of the box, and they just got into the game. We allowed them to do that. We didn't really press as much as we did in that first half and the second half. So they came back into it. I still thought that we had enough to go and get something, and then as it turned out, we did. And the penalty is the key decision in the end, absolute key decision. And like I say, it's not a surprise because it's happened to us plenty of times before, often against them, to be fair. Often it happens against them, and it's hardly a surprise. Should have been a penalty.
What we'll do is we'll go, what we normally do is we go in order of the game and try and break the game down from the start to the end. But I think we've got to go straight to the penalty. I really do, because do I think we massively deserve to win after going 2-0 down? No. Do I think that we probably should have still won? Yeah, I do. And I'm going to put it on the screen. And I'll be honest, you know, I would be honest, because generally I was that peed off with us, Paul, that if it wasn't a penalty, I would have just said, no, we don't deserve a penalty. No, we didn't deserve anything out of that game to let them come back like we did. But no, for me, it's 100% penalty. It's just, and I get that I don't think Ashley Young trying to make more of it has helped him, in my opinion. It's given them a reason to try and accuse him of diving. But there was enough there for Ashley Young to just go down normal and just say, right, I've had my shirt pulled from the back left. I've had its shirt pulled another way. And all I want to do is run through and have this attempt on goal. And the defenders have not shoulder barged me. They've not gone shoulder to shoulder. They've not done anything fair. They've literally used their arm to pull my top back to stop me on getting in on goal. And you can't do that in football. I'm sorry, but and some people will say, oh, it was soft. if you are a defender, right? If you are a defender and that player's going through and you're pulling his top back, you would 110% think it's going to be a penalty in your head. You know you've made the sacrifice of it being a penalty. You know. Because you know when you go as a defender, you know when you're going for a tackle, you've got to win the ball. If you get the player, it's a foul. You know that as a defender. If you miss the ball and get the player, it's a foul. So if you're putting your arm out to grab the player's top and hold on to it for a good couple of seconds, and another player grab his top after Ashley Young's, then you massive risk of it being a penalty. And I think if it is given, you know it's your fault. You generally can't moan about it that much. They probably would have, but I don't think you can moan about it that much. And for one player to do it and you think, oh, he's grabbed his shirt, it could be a penalty. And then for Maguire to do it after as well, the referee would have had no grief for giving a penalty here. And his first decision, the referee's first decision, was penalty. His first decision was penalty, and it was the right decision. And he's got to be confident to do that, by the way. And he's gone straight away, penalty. Now, for me personally, I think that VAR have tried to look, why wouldn't it be a penalty? So they've seen that Ashley Young, he's gone into it a little bit to try and get the penalty. So they're saying the only way that this wouldn't be a penalty is if we can find out that Ashley Young has dived. So they've looked and thought, he's made a bit of this. Even though he's got his shirt grabbed twice, he's made a bit of this for getting his shirt grabbed twice. He's made something of something that actually was a penalty, by the way. So what if you make something of it? It was a penalty. So what they've done is they've seen that Ashley Young, after 100% got grabbed twice and it's a penalty, has gone down like theatrical, saying it's a penalty, which it is, by the way. So they've got to give the penalty, right? And because he's gone down theatrically, what they've done is they've cropped the 2 second of Ashley Young saying, yeah, I've been fouled twice here, and replayed it when the referee's gone over on VAR continuously. Just replayed the moment that they think it's looked like him diving. That's all they've replayed. Now, when you come up, when the game's finished, they've said on the commentary, why have they not shown this angle, that angle, and that angle? All they've shown is the front angle of Ashley Young going down, where it looks like he's making something of it. They haven't actually shown the footage before of him getting his shirt grabbed by the other centre-back before Maguire, and shown all what the actual process of what's happened before Ashley Young's got to the point to say, come on, it's a penalty, and gone down. So they've shown the ending where Ashley Young's peed off and dives into it to say, I've been fouled twice now, come on, it's a penalty. So for me, it's 110% a penalty. And yeah, it would have been soft, but I think if you're a defender and you've grabbed someone's shirt when they're running through on the ball and you haven't even tried to stop them with anything other than pulling the shirt, it's a penalty. And we didn't deserve it. Of course we didn't. We let them score too. But at the end of the day, if that comes your way, it's a penalty. Talk to me, people, in the comments, and talk to me, Paul, because I'm a little bit peed off with that, because I thought, looking at it, you know what? We didn't deserve it. I said to my partner, she goes, is that going to be given? I says, well, I can't see how it's not going to be given. Like, he's had his shirt pulled twice, and I can't believe, you know, when they go over to the monitor that they're going to convince them to change the decision. I couldn't see how it was going to change, and they have changed it, which is really frustrating for me.
Yeah, completely. Because, I mean, the thing is, I presume he gave it initially because he could see that Young was pulled back. So then, if VAR are asking him to go and look at it, it must be because they think he hasn't been pulled back. Whereas actually, he's been pulled back twice. And it's theatrical. However, he's been stopped by 2 players from getting the ball. Because if you look at that position, he's getting the ball. He's getting there first. And he's already your first guy there who's got hold of the shirt. And then as he lets go, Maguire's got hold of the other side of him. So the thing is, if Young hadn't gone down, is that a question, isn't it? Of, well, if he stays on his feet, then you don't get anything. So when he goes over to review it, is he saying, oh, yeah, they don't pull him down? it's just same sort of thing. It's just this usual bollocks that we have to put up with, and we know that if it was the other way around, it wouldn't be the same outcome. It wouldn't be at all. And like someone, I think it was Scar mentioned on here, if we're playing against Fulham or Brentford, someone like that, once again, doesn't happen. And we've had loads of times. It's been the end of the game. You know, we've had goals disallowed for this, that, and the other, and penalties not given. I mean, they couldn't try hard enough to disallow Beto's goal. That was embarrassing how long they took over that. You only knew after one replay no one was offside. So
they didn't even
same old story.
They didn't even show it at this angle, like Emma's just said in the comments. So Emma's just said there, like, they didn't even show it at this angle. They didn't even show him grabbing him. Mm. They only shown the little Maguire grab after. That's I can't believe they didn't show the whole scenario. And some people say, "Oh, you're moaning about referee decisions." It shouldn't have even got to this point. It shouldn't. I 100% think that they should not have been in a situation where we needed to come back to win. Ridiculous. After being 2-0 up and then being so bad. Should never have got in this situation, which we're going to go through a little bit and break the game down. But what I am saying is whether you should or shouldn't be in this situation, at the end of the game, when that happens, the referee, and with VAR, the whole point of VAR is to make the right decision. With VAR, should have given penalty there. 110% should have given penalty. And that's it. And we should have won. And we probably wouldn't be moaning about a lot of stuff that we're going to moan about in a minute if we just won the game. That's all we wanted to do. So really frustrating. Maybe a big giant club like Manchester United in a relegation battle, they don't want them to get relegated. Maybe the luck was on their side here, and that's the reason it wasn't a penalty. I don't know. I can only think that because it's one, like they've said, if it's Fulham or anyone else, I honestly do think it's a penalty. It is a penalty. You can't even moan about it. You know, if your player's grabbing someone through like that, Ashley Young would have gone through on goal. He would have gone through. You can see, look, he's through. Beto's pulled back. Ashley Young, keeper's down. Ashley Young's going to go through. He's going to smash it in. He's got his shirt pulled twice. I always do say, if you're in this scenario, just keep going, Ashley Young. If they're pulling you back, just keep going. And I think that they'll see it anyway. But give yourself a double chance. So don't go down. Keep going. Score. And it doesn't matter whether they give the penalty or not. So if I was Ashley Young and I got pulled like that, I would have tried to go through anyway, personally. And I think sometimes the more you try to go through, the more you get your shirt pulled, the more they'll do it because they realise you're going to score. So I would like to have seen Ashley Young probably just really just go all in on trying to score. And if they are going to met the penalty, then they'll probably foul him even more in this scenario. So I probably wouldn't have gone down because you're missing the opportunity of trying to score as well. Just my opinion. What do you think on that, Paul?
Yeah, I can understand that. Like Scar says, it's of our own making in some ways. Is that it shouldn't have got to that. But we created the chance. We created the opportunity. You know, Garnegay did well to get a shot in. That keeper is awful, by the way. I mean, crying out loud.
He's not that good, is he? 40 million as well. I think there was in talks for Pickford and they chose him.
But we were on the front foot all the time. So Garnegay has a shot. I mean, Ashley Young, crying out loud, is the furthest forward at that point. He's in there at a Beto, really, in the right sort of spot. So we were still in it to win it. So there wouldn't have been many qualms if we had actually got the penalty, scored it. You know, United would have been annoyed that they'd come back to 2-2 and then lost it at the end. But at the same time, I wouldn't have said that we didn't deserve to win. Absolutely, because I think we played well enough. I think we just took our foot off the pedal second half. I think Lindstrom going off and Young coming on changed it a little bit for us as well. In hindsight, would have maybe taken Decore off a bit earlier for Alcaraz, possibly, just to give us legs, because you know it was sort of after the fact that when Man U had done theirs, Garnacho came on, he changed their sort of approach a little bit. Fernandez was on the ball a little bit more. They just had a little bit more legs. So, in hindsight, one or two frustrating things. I think we play well. And I think if you'd said at the beginning of the game, before we kicked off, we're going to end up with a 2-2 draw, I don't think many people would have been that disappointed. I think we're in that scenario now where we've got that gap. We can relax a little bit, So a bit pragmatic about it, really.
But the thing is, though, what you know what I'm like. I am. We are where we're at, and I don't want to take a foot off the gas just because we feel like we're in okay position in the league now.
No.
Like you just said, if we wasn't in this position now, and that was like in the proper relegation battle scrap, you'd be absolutely fuming with that. And I think that's got to be your bar now. I don't think we should just accept little stuff and just it's okay because we're nearly safe now this season. I think our bar, if we are going to become a new Everton next season in this new ground and have a proper standard and not accept crap and not accept not go back to the standard we've been at previously, we have to just not let ourselves do what we've done. The fact is, we're 2-0 up. We cannot let them back in as easy as we did. I could see it coming. I really could see it coming. And I had flashbacks of, and some people say, oh, you're moaning too much on this, but it's not. If we are going to move forward, we need to get this out of our system, and we need to get it out of our system quick, because we can't keep crumbling leads like we've done. 2-0 up against Bournemouth this season. We lose 3-2 in 5-6 minutes. 2-0 up against Aston Villa at their ground. We lose 3-2. 2-0 up against Manchester United. A poor Manchester United, looking the worst they've ever looked. And we end up 2-2. And it's not good enough for me. We need to get these scars gone. That it's becoming a familiar thing. And until we get this out of our system and start realizing that it's not going to happen no more, it's always going to be there. And we're always going to be thinking it as fans. And I watched Manchester United against Man City. Manchester United against Man City. Man City dominated that for about 60, 70 minutes. Manchester United hadn't had a shot on target. All of a sudden, their first shot on target, they score, they come back, and they beat Manchester City. And I knew this game was going to be the same, Paul. That's the thing. I said at 2-0, if you let them go 2-1, straight away, they've got momentum. It's a fresh start. And they will go I knew that they would go 2-2 with momentum, because no matter how poor they played, once it goes 2-1, they're ready. And us, we've got that thing where when we let someone back in, say when we let it go 2-1, in our heads, you can see with the players, this is where it's got to change. You can see with the players, in the players' heads, they start to think, oh, we're going to let them come back. That's the first thought. Not we're going to get the third goal to see it 3-1. I think our first thought is we're going to let them come back. Oh, no, the 2-0 lead's gone. And I think then we start to defend more and more and more and more. And it becomes about us trying to stop them instead of us carrying on trying to win the game. And I think that's what happened for a bit. Soon as it went 2-1, you could see they was on top and they was going to probably score to make it 2-2. Stupid goals as well. Maybe Pickford could have got his hand to the last one, I'd probably say. It was close. Free kick was just stupid. Close. Yeah, it was just stupid goals, really. And the thing is with the goals for me is that lazy. Like, we talk about the free kick and say, "Oh, good free kick," but look at what happened leading up to the free. It was a stupid free kick that we gave them. Stupid foul on the edge of the box, and I think that's what was starting to happen. Paul is, and I'll lick David Moyes' arse when he's good. But I think his substitutions wasn't quick enough this game, and I think he did it last game and got away with it. And I think this game, David Moyes, love him, by the way, but you can take praise and you can take criticism. Alcaraz should have come on a lot earlier. We had a lot of players on that pitch on yellow cards, and when you're on a yellow card, you can't put that tackle in. You're 50% the player you normally are when you're on a yellow card for me. And I just believe that you had James Garner on a yellow card, which probably should have. He probably needs to come off when he was on a yellow corey. We had the bloody Decore on with a yellow card. We had O'Brien on a yellow card. A lot of yellow cards for us, by the way, not for them. Which was a bit crazy.
Not for them.
Yeah.
Not for them.
Not for them, no. And there was a lot of tackles, Paul, where they should have got yellow cards. And that ridiculous. Does hinder you sometimes. Yeah.
There was one where I think it was either Decore or Beto got past Maguire and he just pulled him back. He didn't get booked for it. It's just I thought the referee was poor. I thought the referee was very poor.
Yeah, I thought it was shocking as well, to be fair. Really frustrating. But I just think we could have boosted it back up. Look, it's weird because I haven't got massive problems. There's a lot of positive there. Do you know what I mean? There is a lot of positive there. Like the way we started, really good. Doucouré's press, really good. Moyes tactically smashed it, where he got them he got us pressing them really good. Do you know what I mean? So there was a lot of good. I just don't like the way we let that slip. It's irritating.
Frustrating, really. But we scored another 2 goals. I like the way that we were playing. There was a great move down the right hand side where Lindstrom does a little flick inside and Garner carries on. Ball comes across to Beto. It doesn't.
Sorry, but we had a little freeze on there. It'll put him back in. Comments coming in. Should have been a penalty. With the free kick, Pickford's positioning was wrong. He should have stood more right and trusted the ball to protect the left. I did say it's a bit out of position. I did think that. And you know what? It's not picking on Pickford. We're not jumping on. He's been absolutely insane, faultless for a long time now. But I do think he was a little bit out of position. The commentator said that as well. But then someone said sometimes you leave them the corner because you want them to go there to make them not go there. But I don't know. It's just stupid. Go on, Paul, cut you out.
He also had about 5. He also had about 5 right in front of him. There were 2 United players stood right next to the wall. I think it was Maguire who ducked out the way. So, but yeah, like Carl says as well, unbeaten in 6, take it on the chin. It's a draw. We've got some tricky games coming up, which are away as well. I mean, we're arguing the toss about not beating Man United. And I know they're doing very poor for them this season, but it does show that actually we are moving forward. And we didn't have an awful lot on the bench, but neither did they, actually. They had a lot of kids on their bench. So it's just one of them where we feel as though we should have won it because we were winning 2-0 as well. And then we're robbed at the end, just with the penalty as well. I'm just going to throw that up. This was on Twitter. It's just 1 or 2 comments about it. So Theo Walcott apparently totally agree with the referee. I don't think it was a penalty. Naturally, you don't fall that way. Rio Ferdinand said, I was surprised it wasn't given. The contact is there. Mike Dean, the way he fell down does not match the contact. Surprise, surprise, Mike Dean. And Premier League, apparently, VAR deemed that no foul had been committed and recommended an on-field review. Yeah, well, we were there. We saw that bit. They'll just wander it away. I'm sure Howard Webb will do the same on his little programme where he justifies everything and people move on. And even though it's bloody biased beyond belief, if you're a particular club, we just get screwed over again, and then life goes on, unfortunately.
In the comments I've just seen now, I know it was a penalty. It just was a penalty. Better or Calvert-Lewin, and it's gone a bit. Beto's been sensational. He really has. The way he started the game, the way he took that finish, the way he's timing his runs, and he's still got little faults in his locker. Bad pass sometimes, stray pass. Bad touch sometimes, but he's also got so much is improving on him as well, and he's not gonna become the complete product all of a sudden. You're gonna watch Beto go through the motions and try and get better in every sort of way. And I think we're seeing a player that, as David Moyes says, he's getting better with every game, and you can see him improving every game. But you'll also see some of his mistakes as well that he's trying to iron out and get right. But I think the way he took the goal, fantastic. Honestly, the way he's timed the run. And he's scoring early goals as well. He's getting us 1-0. You can't hope for any more than that from your striker, is to get you the confidence, the lead. Because we're normally a team that takes 50, 60 minutes and think, who's going to score a goal from us for us, nobody can score. And that's what we're generally normally thinking, like, oh, we can't score. Oh, no confidence in Calvert-Lewin to score. And Beto, straight away, he's getting first goal of the game, last game. First goal again this game. And he's fantastic. He really is good. I think, personally, I've said this many times on the Toffee Bluecast, the way that Beto plays, because he gives his absolute everything, he's going to get burnt out 60, 70 minutes. And I think he was. And I think he was still trying to give his all to get back and to make powerful runs. But I think that Maguire and the other centre-back had it easier because they knew he was burnt out towards the end, because he put so much work in. And that's where you do need your Shemiti. Probably has come back from his injury now. He's on the grass. And we need some fresh legs on.
Yeah, and Decore in that as well, because they were both 100 mile an hour all the way through that first half.
Exactly.
On the hour mark, before things started changing for them, was when it would have been great to have changed it, but hindsight's a wonderful thing. It's just something. I know it was. Yeah, it was an opportunity to do that. It was an opportunity to change it. That's all. But they did well. I wouldn't have. I mean, we were saying in the pre-match that we wouldn't have had Decore starting. We would have had Alcaraz. I understand, and we both said it as well. We understand why Decore might have started, more of a physical presence. And obviously, you can't argue with the way that first half went. But to the extent that first half, in terms of pressing and energy given and everything else, it would have been ideal just to change one or two, which we don't have a lot of. But
you did need a couple. Like I say, change the players on the yellow cards for me. I missed the game. Tell me how Beto's goal was. It's just a perfectly timed run. Honestly, it was just like he gets himself. Beto's really good at. He makes the defender think he's going to be offside. He knows when the ball's going to come. He catches it. He runs back, gets himself onside, and then goes. And they don't know if he's onside or off Beto. And he times it perfect. And the way he's took it, smashed it down at the ground and boost like up. But he's just so composed. All different finishes from him, and he's just drilled it. I think when you're that close, like he's got himself in that position, you've just got to put your foot through it, haven't you, Paul? And he's smashed it down into the ground, rises. Doesn't look the best of finishes, but it's.
No, well, chances are he probably mishit it, to be honest. But it was his anticipation, and it took age. I mean, it took ages and ages for just trying to find some way to disallow it. It was just absolutely pathetic. But I thought he was great today. Thought Decore was great today. There's not many that I would have a moan at, to be honest.
Who is
just game management? We lacked a little bit, and that's what came to bite us in the arse a little bit.
There's a really good comment above, and he was saying the moment we started sitting back. Can't see where the comment's gone now. If I can find it. Here we go. The comments. Keep your comments coming in. We'll chuck them on the screen. Carl says, shout out to you. Us sitting back prevented Beto's strengths in the second half. Looked isolated again and fatigued and tactical change. Yeah, probably true. You know what I mean? When he's running around in our half, I think it's a bit useless. I think the first half, we really did press, you know. They said in the commentary, they said David Moyes has really done his homework on Manchester United and knows how to hurt them, because Moyes knew that they was going to pass out from the back. And Moyes got Decore to... Decore was fantastic, by the way. There was a lot of questions to Decore Alcaraz, but Decore's pressing on all their defenders that wanted to pass out from the back was just creating so many mistakes straight on early in the game. And that was just making the ball up in the air from Decore's pressing around Beto, and Beto was getting on this stuff, and they was making bad passes. And when they made a bad pass from defence, we'd knock it straight into Beto. And I think that's why Beto excelled at the start of the game, because we pressed onto their passing out from defence. We was turning it over, and Beto's there. He doesn't have to run much. He's there, and he can cause havoc. And that was happening.
I was going to say, though, as well as those two, when it did go to their fullbacks, we had Lindstrom quite high up, making sure that they weren't getting forward, and Harrison on the left-hand side. I think that in the second half, thinking more and more about it, when Lindstrom came off, naturally on that right-hand side, we stepped back a bit. And
Yeah,
like
we
someone
always
said
do, yeah.
earlier on, Young was almost a second right back at times. Obviously, there's obviously evidence that he did get forward from time to time. But I don't think it was just Decore and Batu who were getting tired. I think it was a knock-on. I think Young dropping back, Garner Gay and Garner maybe getting a little bit tired as well in that second half. And then Decore would drop back to support that, which means that we're, as a whole side, moving further and further back. And then they're obviously winning free kicks closer to the edge of the box. And that's how they get one or two. Obviously, that's how they get their 2 goals. But we're a small squad. We're a small squad. And like Rod says on here, and I know we're not accepting mediocrity or anything else, but it's a journey to where we want to get to. So we haven't got the 3 points. We did get a point out of it. We scored 2 good goals. And we played well as a side. I think with a better selection of players, and a little bit of luck going our way, and VAR not against us, and referee not against us, I think we come out with 3. So
You know what though? I get that if you listen, sometimes it's like, oh, a bit negative. We're doing a lot better. Look at where we've come from, lads. I get someone giving me that kind of speech, but it's just the fact that we played probably the best 45 minutes I've seen us play for a long time. And I think when you do that, when you go to work and you proper graft, you want to frigging get rewarded for it. And I generally feel we haven't got the full rewards of how we played that game, because we was loads better than Manchester United. I know we crumbled a bit the second half, but I still believe we did enough second half to get a couple of goals. And we was miles better than Manchester United that game. We really was. I think first half, if we was 3-4-0 up, Manchester United could not have complained. We was just so much better than Manchester United. And to come away with it a draw, and to them come away with the same amount of points as us, just peed me off a little bit. And it should do as well, by the way. It should do, because and I'm still positive after it. I'm not going to carry this negativity on, because I know there's a lot of good things. But I think we've got to start setting that bar higher. And I do believe that when we do what we did, 1-0, 2-0, looked like we could have gone 3 or 4 and absolutely smashed Man United up. I don't want them coming back and getting the draw. We shouldn't be letting them do that, in my opinion. We really, really shouldn't be letting them do that. And I don't think we will soon. I think Moyes will get that out of us. A big part of that, for me, was not having a big enough squad. I think if we had a couple of substitutions where we could change the striker, maybe when Better's burnt out, where we can probably not think twice about taking James Garner off when he's on a yellow card, I think it could have been a different game. Moyes got to start bringing Alcaraz on early. For me, I get Decore's having the game of his life, and he doesn't want to take him on because he's having the game of his life. But you've got to keep those energy levels up. And the thing is, trust the players on the bench as well, because although Decore is having an absolute cracking game, you've got Alcaraz that's going to want to come on and compete with him and compete with that position and have a cracking game again. So you've got to find that borderline for me where Decore's had an amazing game, but you can see him slowing down just a little bit. And let's get Alcaraz on with the same energy Decore had for that first 50 minutes. And get Alcaraz on and keep your energy levels up of the Everton team to see the game out. And I could see the energy levels dropping. And as Manchester United come back into it, I could see the energy levels of the players dropping, rightly so, because we put so much in. I could see that happening. And I think David Moyes, with his substitutions, has got to find a way to keep that energy up. That's what he's got to do. And I think Alcaraz coming straight in, he just needed to. Because when he come on, he looked decent. He nearly got a score in, Alcaraz did, I thought. And he just needed a bit longer, in my opinion. So we've got to be quicker on the substitutions.
That's the other... I was watching the game with my dad, and we were having that conversation really about who was it who came in? I think it was Wormy mentioned it, saying that Decore runs about a lot, but there were times where if it was Alcaraz who was on the ball, then he would have turned, and it would have been more of an attacking purpose in some ways. So, but physicality-wise was probably the reason why we got the second goal. So there's sort of swings and roundabouts there. I
It's,
still
it's,
prefer Alcaraz ahead of Decore. I still think that should be the footballing choice going forward.
but do you know what? Do you know what's mad, Paul? The mad thing is, Decore's got this thing where he doesn't look comfortable. So there's always questions on Decore because he doesn't look technical. He never will do, I don't think. But if you think about it, we said on the last show, Alcaraz comes on and he scores and he gets an assist. What more can you do? Decore scored, and I'm pretty sure he got the assist to Beto with a header. It was Decore that got the header through.
Yeah.
It was Decore that got the header through to Beto. So Decore's assisted, and we're still asking questions on Decore. I mean, I know
he's been brilliant.
Yeah,
he absolutely did. He absolutely did great. He absolutely did great. I wouldn't pick him every time over Alcaraz.
I had Alcaraz in above, but it's just something about Decore where even if he does really good, you still question whether he should be there. And it's a weird one, isn't it? Because when you think about it, he scored really good goal, busted balls in to get in there and score the goal, and he's also set Beto up to score as well. So if Decore wasn't on that pitch, would those 2 goals have gone in?
Well, Alcaraz might have scored actually.
Alcaraz might have scored actually. Well, he's good. But my point is, Decore's done enough in that game. So if Alcaraz did play, he's got a lot of crap to do because he's got to score, he's got to assist to do as much as Decore did. So Alcaraz is probably thinking, I've got to have a real good game to top off what Decore actually did.
You know what though? It's good. It's good in it that we're talking about 2 players vying for an important position in the team. It's not like, oh Christ, we've got to put up with one person who's not doing very well and they're going to be picked straight away because they've got no competition. So it's good that we've got a little bit of that, and we have got other players as well. Rubenham's going to be great going forward as well. In the next few months and everything. So it's going to be interesting to see which players do kind of take over those positions. O'Brien, I thought was great today again. I thought he was fantastic again today. And someone was saying, we think Tarkovsky had a good game today. I think everyone had a good game. I really do. You've got a free kick they've scored from, and you've got a shot on the edge of the box, which was all chaos, bodies flying everywhere, knocking people over. And it's a shot from the edge of the box. Pickford's unsighted. He does well to get even close to it. So, we weren't embarrassed by any means, and we're disappointed because we didn't win, which is good, like you said. It's good that we're disappointed by it.
I have got a man of the match, by Cooks as well. I have got a man of the match. I don't know who was a man of the match, but I'll tell you my man of the match. Paul told me his man of the match. And you in the comments, let us know who your man of the match was this game, right? I've got my man of the match, and I don't normally care about it that much. I just decided to stick up as well. There you go. My man of the match is big shout out to this player today. Absolutely phenomenal. Don't know whether you'll get it. Idrissa Gana Gueye. The moment I wake up, every hour, every day, I know it's you I love. Idrissa Gana Gueye. I'll tell you something, Paul. I think he's played for PSG after us and played really high standard football, Idrissa Gana Gueye. And he's done a lot in his career. But I think he's peaking, He's reminding me of Kante. And I'm not even joking. And I know that's a mad position. I know that's a mad shout out, that is.
Yeah.
But Kante, when I watch Kante for Chelsea, everything he does right. It's just right places, right turnover. And Kante just looked on a different level. Gana Gueye is like Kante, I'm telling you right now. And I don't know what he wasn't. I don't know what's happened to him. Don't know what's in his cereal. But Gana, I think he was like 9 tackles first half. 9 tackles, successful tackles first half. Successful turnovers or something like that. I don't know his stats, but I know one of our lads, Toffee Bluecast, Rob had him on to get yellow carded, and I said he's not going to get yellow carded because he's timing everything to perfection. And he's been doing it regular now. It's not the first game, he's been doing it regularly. I noticed he used to pick up a lot of yellow cards, which frustrated me because I always say if they've got a yellow card in that position, you're in trouble. And he hasn't been just lately because he's just timing everything perfect and he's everywhere. And it's not just his turning over, getting the ball back, which is massive, by the way, getting possession back, or stopping, cutting things down. He's also moving the ball about. If you're noticing, he's coming in now in front of the centre-backs, and he's always an option. So he's always the option. So he's our pivot player. He's that drop-in Kante pivot player where he's just, if centre-back's got it, you'd be in trouble, your centre-back would, but they've got Garner Gay left, or they've got another defender right. And that's the way it is. And Garner Gay right, another defender, another side. So they can, instead of just having one person to pass it to our defenders, they've got a midfielder, Garner Gay, always there to pass it to as well. And he's turning over and he's just drifting the ball back into nice spaces. He's everywhere. And big speech, but big player at the minute. Idrissa Garner Gay, I tell you something, I've not seen anyone play like this for us in the middle for a long time. He's phenomenal. James Garner was good as well, by the way. I thought he was decent, but Idrissa Garner Gay, mate, he's peaking. Paul, talk to me. He is peaking, isn't he?
No, he's brilliant. He's brilliant. And it doesn't even, there was all sorts of tackles. There's a few times he sort of, he came in from the side of the player. There's about 2 or 3 times. And he won the ball cleanly, which is brilliant. So he's still got the energy to do it. But it doesn't even have to be a full-on tackle. He just always gets his toe in, doesn't he? And then what we were really good at today was it wasn't just one person sort of pressing whoever had the ball. And I don't mean high up the pitch, just in the middle of the pitch. So if Garner Gay got a touch on the ball, James Garner was there right next to him to take the ball away, or Decore was, or something like that. And it's massive. When you've got numbers in there, then you can really make a difference. And those little touches can make a difference as well. So there's lots of people who said, Garner, come on, you boys, said Garner, Idrissa Gay for Scar. So for Carl as well, the Senegalese tackling machine. We did. Carl's right. We missed Njai today. He would, you know what he would have. I would have loved to have seen him running at Maguire. That would have been hilarious, to be honest.
Shame. Gutting, really, isn't it, when you think about it? With how much we destroyed them with Harrison, who I thought had a good game again today, by the way. Proper put a shift in. Harrison seems a lot better, by the way. He's not doing out-worldy, but I can accept what he's doing, putting some really good balls in on that left-hand side, whipping good balls across, working hard to get back, and he's grafting. He's playing a lot. I don't get the play bad on the right, play good on the left thing, but it does seem it's working out like that, doesn't it?
There was one moment, was it? Yeah, second half, because we were shooting the wrong way. If anyone noticed that first half, we were shooting towards Gladys Street, weren't we? First half, I didn't like that. Felt a bit weird. It's like when Ant and Deck stand in different places. It doesn't feel right. But there was one moment second half where Mikalenko's actually got the ball and he runs up to the edge of the 18-yard box, left-hand side. And then you got Harrison ready to do an overlap as well. You know, we haven't had that. We haven't had that in the past. And one of the guys here saying about, do you think Dyche was the reason we were playing so bad? I just think we were playing different. I just don't think the players were encouraged to do that. Mikalenko certainly wasn't encouraged to do.
Well,
to get
that is kind of,
you know what I mean?
That is kind of Dyche the reason, though, Paul. That is kind of Dyche the reason.
Mm.
Playing different under Dyche to what we play under Moyes, that is managerial change. And I honestly do believe Dyche had. So how we played under Dyche is Dyche. That's him. How we play under Moyes is Moyes. And I do think Moyes has just got us playing so much better. So, yeah, I do think Dyche was the reason we probably were. And I don't think we had that many players. I think Moyes is probably dealing with more injuries than what Dyche was dealing with. Dyche had a lot of strikers available. Dyche had Beto, Calvert-Lewin, and bloody Shamiti and Brozier available sometimes. So, no, I think David Moyes is letting us attack. David Moyes is the way we press Man United from the start. I don't think Dyche would have done that personally. We was all in, press them, and we take gambles, and our defence is pushing up and turning over. There's loads of good things that David Moyes is doing with this team, by the way, and it's not the complete team yet. So there's going to be a lot of learning that David Moyes is going to have to do. You know, that's why we will get things right and wrong. Because it's not like David Moyes, this Everton team's the best 11 in the world. And Moyes has got an easy job. He's working with a couple of players that are hard to work with and trying to get the best out of some average players. So I do think that he's doing a fantastic job. He really is doing a fantastic job when you look at our record now, because what is it now? And this is where it does come a little bit like you think to yourself, oh, we are peed off. But at the end of the day, you add another bloody draw to that. We beat Tottenham. We beat Brighton. We beat Leicester. We drew in the derby. We beat Crystal Palace, who was massively in form. And then we drew against Man United, and we could have beat them. That's how good we are getting now. And although I'm frustrated with that game a little bit because we 100% should have added a green, fact is, we are doing really well. What's that? 3, 6, 9, 10, 13, 14 points in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games, 14 points in 6 games. It's not something, and that's with injuries as well now.
Also as well, 14 goals out of 6 games. Yeah. Whereas the previous game, we had 1 in 5. The previous 5 before that. So a massive change. Massive change.
The thing is, though, sack Farewell, I honestly do believe O'Brien is amazing right back. O'Brien's really good right back. That's who Farewell brought him. Irabunum, I think, will turn out to be a fantastic signing. I think he's going to be a talent going forward. You've got to remember Doucouré's 30, where you just spoke about Alcaraz and Irabunum in the 10. I think that's what it's going to be in the future because Doucouré won't last forever. So I think Irabunum was a cracking signing. I'm pretty sure Farewell brought in Garner. I'm not sure if he did bring in Garner. Beto, look how many goals he's scored. As David Moyes says, if you went and signed a striker in the last transfer window and he did what Beto's doing now, you'd be saying it was the best signing in the world, and it was definitely worth 25 million. So he brought in Beto when he didn't have many options. And Jai.
No brainer.
Jai as well. So.
We've got a few guys. We've got a few guys that we're gonna miss. We're gonna have to say goodbye to. Coleman's one of those. Moyes was asked as well. Press conference whether Seamus would get a chance before the end of the season. He sounded very positive that he'll get at least one game. You'd like to think that he'd be fit enough for last home game against Southampton and be involved somewhere there. So that'll be good, but emotional as well.
Remember, we can't score open goals, and now look how many we're bloody scoring.
There you go. You can't have. They're not all going to be big hitters. I'm not even going to say that name.
I think Lampard chose him, though. I think Lampard chose him. And that's what I'm going to put it down to, right? Yeah, well, Lampard said he did say when he got him that he had a big say in the signings, Lampard said. And I honestly do believe that that's Lampard's signing, so I'm not even giving Farewell that one. Emotional about Coleman, to be fair, because it did sound like in the press conference it is going to be the last season of Coleman. And it will be. It will be the last season. I just hope he can get fit now. I think that's his biggest aim, is to get fit and play a game. It'd be nice for us to be safe and then play the last game at Goodison Park. To be fair, I think that could make it double special, wouldn't it? I think last game at Goodison Park is going to be like an emotional wreck anyway. But I think to add Coleman into that and it be his last game in an Everton top, I think if you're gonna be like watching bloody can't think of 2 sad films together, but it'd be sad, it'd be emotional, I tell you. And I think that's what you've got to do. Bring out every emotion of how special Goodison Park is. So, yeah, I hope Coleman comes back for that. That's his main aim now, isn't it?
Say again, sorry.
That's his main aim, Coleman, now. Just get back to get a game under his belt.
Yeah, one last one. One last hurrah.
One last dance.
Last dance, yeah. Come on, you Blues said. I met Coleman. He really doesn't want to leave. I bet he doesn't. If you think about if you enjoy where you work, like, Joe Public, where you work, and then you've worked there for so long, and then you have to leave, but you don't really want to, that would be gut-wrenching. If it was playing for Everton, who you been with for, since you're generally a kid, brought in for 60 grand. And you've got loads of people who love you to bits. That's going to be even harder to do. So
we've got Moyes as well, the one that brought him, which will make it even more special as well.
Well,
so the fact is,
almost like full circle. It just kind of it wraps it up kind of nice, really. It does wrap it up.
Because
and also as well, Coleman's got good mates who have been on that end as well. So there was a photo. There's a photo doing the rounds in the week of a load of sort of the retired lads. So I don't know if Baines was there, but Jags was there. Osman was out. There was a few others anyway, and Coleman was there, and they'll help him through that kind of transition. But I hope he carries on doing something with the club. I know some people a bit funny about jobs for boys and all that, but I don't see any downside to him still being involved in somewhere within the setup, especially if Baines is moving on a little bit and moving higher age groups and maybe eventually coming, as he is now, as an assistant on the coaching staff there. Maybe it's time for Coleman to start where Baines was.
You do. I'd love Coleman to stay involved with Everton and do something with us, and I think it would be good for us. This job for the boys thing, I think Baines has come in, and I think our left back and right back have been cracking, and I think we've been putting a lot better balls in since Baines has come in, working with the first team, and you've seen him in training having a laugh with the first team. Baines around a player like Leighton Baines around players will only make them more confident. It's not a job for the boys if you get Baines involved, and I do believe the same with Coleman. Coleman's massive. He is massive, but you never know. Coleman might. He's a proper footballer. Coleman is. He bleeds football, and he might have big plans to go and manage somewhere else and make it a super manager where he wants to become number one. It's going to be interesting to see what path he's got, because I do believe Coleman's one of those players, where he'll have, where he brought the documentary out last time in Ireland of all. I think he knows he's coming to an end, and I think he's got a big plan of something lined up, Coleman. Going to be interesting to see what steps he takes. But what a send-off it will be with Coleman, because, like I say, David Moyes in the press conference said apparently 60 grand was a bit too much paying for him, Paul.
He did.
We overpaid.
Did you see that by Corey as well? Bring back John Stone. His contract at City is over. He's 30. He won't get in. He won't get picked.
Don't think he would, to be fair. I think he'd get picked just for cup game finals or something like that. Because John Stones is class, by the way, but he's just so injury prone. Don't think you'd be able to rely on him. But
might as well bring Jags and let's go back.
Yeah, bring your Cooper up front, to replace Beto at 60 minutes. Get them all back. But no, we've had a little good chat on that. I'll still say it's frustrating for me. I don't like giving 2-0 away to come back a draw. I really don't. I want that to be ironed out of us. And I said it on the pre-match show. I did say it on the pre-match show that we need to get rid of these let teams back in. We do so much good. It doesn't feel good. It really doesn't feel good to let them come back in. It'll feel good for them because they're losing 2-0 and look like they're going to lose 3-4-0. And then they come back and draw and they'll accept that. It'll feel like a bit of a win to them. It really will. It's always good when you think you're going to get battered and you come back and you don't get battered. So we shouldn't have let them get that feeling. But show goes on. As we pointed out, it's not that bad. But I don't want us just saying, it's okay to draw and let teams come back 2-0 because we're doing okay before the other games, because that's how you start letting this good form slip, in my opinion. That's how you just start losing it. I don't want to lose this good form, Paul. Moyes said in the press conference, is it a manager bounce? No, we need to keep this form going to show it's not a manager bounce. And up the top is everyone. It's not that bad. I'm not going to cry my weekend over that. I'm a little bit disappointed, but I think we'll just look forward to the next game to get another win on the belt.
Yeah,
it just makes my top four a little bit harder, Paul.
Well, we like a challenge.
Maybe now, yeah.
Wednesday is a full program. Apparently, TNT couldn't mention it enough. So Brentford away, on Wednesday, 7:30 kickoff. I'm guessing, going off what they were mentioning. So never know. Yeah, hopefully it'll be a good week and get one or two people a little bit closer to full fitness, and we go again.
To be fair, we don't lose much though. Still haven't lost in a lot of games now. That is a good thing. We have got a good mentality of not losing, and to feel this hurt about drawing against Manchester United, whether they're playing shit or not, is definitely an improvement for us because they're normally a bogey team for us. But we all know deep down that was a penalty, and we should have been celebrating on this show that we had beat them 3-2 because that was 110% people a penalty. It really was. But yes, thank you for everyone for listening. Do hit that like and subscribe. We want to get to 6,000 before the season finishes. And we're on like 5,550 or 10 or something like that. But we can get to 6,000, of course we can. So do hit that like and subscribe. We will be here with a pre-match. We go live before and after every game. So we'll be with a pre-match the night before. That will be coming shortly. Have a boss one, everyone. Up the top is Everton are back, baby. Davy Moyes. See you later.